When we talk about con men from the past, normally they're met with disdain, disgust. There's a sense that all these people need to be put behind bars. But every now and then, a scammer comes along who really captures the imagination, who shows us the foolishness of our biases and how easy it is to trick us, and it almost delights us in a weird way. One such example is Frank Abagnale. He was the guy featured in Catch Me If You Can, the movie, and the whole idea is that he spent his life sort of faking being an airline pilot, an attorney, a doctor, but he did it in such a way that seemed perhaps to not be for money, but for the sheer thrill of getting away with it. And because of that, he's become something of an icon and even has moved on from his scammer ways into something more respectable. And that latter type of scammer is what I'm interested in today. Because the person we're talking about today is a scammer, yes. But he also, when I review his files, I can't help but find myself fascinated by this person, fascinated by the doctor of love.
But the teen later told police he'd never attended medical school.
I don't appreciate your tone. If you could stop recording, please. I will lie like that.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the $10 million studio. I'm your host, Coffeezilla, and today we're talking about the man, myth, the legend, the doctor of love himself, Malachi Love Robinson. Dodge that. This is him right here, guys. You may know him, you may not. But he was featured on the local news a while back as a young con man. Let's take a listen.
An alleged fraud of such audacity, such tenacity, that it boggles the mind. It involves an 18-year-old baby-faced kid who's accused of masquerading as a doctor. Police say treating patients out of his own clinic.
That's right. Dr. Malachi Love Robinson, or Dr. Love, as we'll be calling him throughout the rest of this piece, was a 19-year-old kid who faked being a doctor and set up a private practice and was treating patients.
He has a lab coat and a stethoscope.
How's that?
But police say this baby-faced physician doesn't have an MD.
Are you a fraud? Because it seems like everything you're saying to me is evasive.
I don't appreciate your tone.
Gosh, I love that. You get caught and you go, I don't appreciate your tone, actually. I don't like when you say that. But let's set the stage, okay? Let's back it up before we get into the heated confrontation. Dr. Love didn't start by being confronted on being a doctor. He actually had practice. He had dreams of being a doctor for a fake doctor, dreams of being a fake doctor for a long time. Ever since he was 17, he sort of roamed the halls, it sounds like, of various medical places, pretending and just sort of like walking around with a lab coat on.
The police report says he was walking around the halls in a doctor's coat.
I believe it said Department of Anesthesiology on it.
Witnesses reporting he'd been roaming the hospital halls for a month.
Dude, how does anybody mistake this guy for a doctor? I like the serious expression though. Dude, this guy's committed to the character.
This story was broadcast everywhere. Like I'm some insane maniac.
Well, nobody else is faking being a doctor. At least we can say you're a one of one. That's one thing you'll notice actually about Malachi is that he has a tremendous amount of confidence that belies his young teenage years. And that's something that I find fascinating. I think most people find fascinating about scammers is they typically have an above average ability to BS their way through situations that they have no idea about. I'm sure Malachi has never been on the local news before, or definitely not the national news before, but he BS's his way through it like a pro.
Didn't snatch out a baby. I didn't do any of that.
Police snapped this picture of the lab coat in his car. On one lapel, the title anesthesiologist. On the other, his name.
Oh, that's a bad luck, bud. That's where you get in trouble. I think probably if he had walked through with just a lab coat, he probably wouldn't have gotten in trouble. But now that you fake your credentials, that's the problem.
The hospital did not press charges, claiming in a statement the individual never had contact with any hospital patients and did not gain access to any patient care areas.
Now, by the way, I'll be skipping through this because there's a full report on this. Great investigative reporting by ABC News. You can go check it out. It's called Florida Teen Accused of Posing as a Doctor Denies Diagnosing Patients. I want to skip to the part where they actually go into his clinic where he was... his private practice and show you what he was doing. This kid is unbelievable.
Attempting to pass as a medical doctor, this time in his very own clinic.
This is the New Birthing Life Medical Center.
So he doesn't know that this girl walking with him, like, is an undercover reporter.
Labor law posters up on the wall. So that way, they are visible to the public.
Law, right?
Dude, what? Oh my gosh, he goes, hey, look, labor laws, that means I'm legit.
So that way, they are visible to the public.
And she goes, you're following the law, as she knows that he's faking being a doctor, and he thinks he's getting away with this. That's unbelievable.
All right.
Of course, that was after he removed his lab coat and stethoscope. And when you peel back the tape, the sign on the door has his name and those two crucial letters.
No, Dr. Love, no. You gotta learn, bud. Now, this case gets more serious when we learn of accusations that Dr. Love was not merely playing doctor, he was actually acting as a doctor and treating patients for money. He was immediately confronted on this.
86-year-old woman. Police say he treated her recently for severe stomach pain and charged her nearly $3,500.
What services did you provide in exchange for that money?
I can tell you this. Accusations are merely accusations.
Hey, dude, don't ever start a question with another, like a statement that has nothing to do with the question. I'm sure that's how Brian Rose answers any kind of questions. Accusations are just accusations.
And services, you'd have to define that. Whether she paid for me to just show up, that's up to her.
What? This kid is unreal. He's a legend. He never defeated at the BS game. He's saying I didn't even give her services. She paid me $3,500 to show up. She was so happy to see my face.
Denying the fact that she paid you $3,500 or so, correct?
No, I am denying that.
Are you a fraud?
I don't appreciate your tone. I don't appreciate the way you're portraying this interview to actually be.
And then a moment we didn't expect.
I don't know where you're receiving this information from, but it is inaccurate. I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to cut this interview short.
Wow, that is unbelievable. Look at that. His outrage about getting caught out truthfully. Dude, he's 19. The kid could be a Hollywood star actor. This is such a power play. I don't even know what to think of this.
I don't know where you're receiving this information from, but it is inaccurate. I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to cut this interview short.
But he has said this may not cut his medical career short, saying he hopes to open another.
Look at that. He hits him with this kid's a star, dude. Normally, people would be walking out with their head ducked, like low. This kid is going like, you'll be hearing from my lawyers, dude. So here's the thing. He goes to jail for this. Now, he gets talked to in jail. He served like a 3-year stint. He really gave a compelling message to Inside Edition here.
Behind that deception.
As a kid, I think it's always been my dream, to be a physician. I guess the bigger picture was seeing the smiles, people thinking that you are something that you're not.
He sounds pretty compelling, huh? Like he really is remorseful for what he did and that he really just deep down wanted to be a doctor all along. Well, he got out recently, and unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, he is once again in the news. Dr. Love is rearrested in Palm Beach County. I regret to inform you guys.
In January 2020, according to the police, under the name Alex Robinson, he got a job with United States of Freight, a shipping brokerage based in Delray Beach. Delray police say he stole more than $10,000 from the company by diverting payments to the company into his own bank account.
Now, this is the problem with scammers of all kinds. Because once you scam by pretending to be a quack, you can never go back. It's an old saying. And this is unfortunately the sad part of scamming is I think for some people, it's just a disease. They can't help it. They're pathological liars. But for me, at least, Dr. Love represents one of the most interesting figures in scamming. Not because what I think he did was right. I think it's incredibly dangerous to fake being a doctor. But because his motivations were so different than your average guru. It wasn't to get a Lambo. It wasn't to teach a bunch of 15-year-olds how to drop ship. For him, it was about being seen like he was in a position of authority and he was helping you, regardless of whether he could actually help you or not. And I think the fact that he's convinced and tricked so many people along the way is a testament to our human fragility when it comes to trust. We're so quick to trust other people if they have the right thing on, if they have the right coat on. It's an old saying that if you put a construction outfit on and you carry a clipboard, you can get into any job site in the world. And unfortunately, examples like this are...
This is your last chance.
only 24 hours left to lock in your investment into the biggest grifter on the planet. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Today, we're talking about the con that continues, the grift that keeps giving the piss punch bowl himself, Mr. Brian Rose of London Real. Now, Brian's full history is way too long to explain here. I have a whole series documenting this man's long resume, everything from mayor candidate to Bitcoin bro to free speech warrior, that last one being particularly funny because his comment section is more censored than North Korean Wi-Fi. But anyways, I recently hit my 2-year anniversary of covering Brian, and I realized I can't stop now. So even though London Real's views have dipped, like a real historian, I have to continue documenting. So without further ado, here's the most recent chapter. Brian Rose is selling his YouTube channel.
How would you like to own part of London Real as an equity investor and join us on our incredible journey of expansion as we transform the lives of the next 1 billion people on the planet with our groundbreaking broadcast interviews, innovative online academy, supercharged live events, and forward-looking blockchain strategy? Well, stay tuned, and I will show you how to partake in this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity.
Now look, when I first found out about this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, I was actually too late. Somehow I had missed the 27 emails he sent me asking me to invest, and when I found out, it was already over. My last chance for financial independence had passed me by. So imagine my shock when Brian extended the deadline 24 hours just for me. Now I have to admit, I also missed that one. But then he did it again with a limited extension opportunity, which I felt was a bit strange because as much as I appreciate so many once-in-a-lifetime opportunities, I couldn't help but think it didn't square with what Brian said was happening with these shares flying off the shelves.
This is the last day to buy your shares in London Real. We are closing this process out, so you're not going to have to get any more emails from me or hear any more messages.
Thank you for sparing me.
And it's just nuts over at the studio. The shares are flying.
Now, my favorite part of this whole video is that the comment section is a ghost town for such an exciting event. I mean, these are all the comments on that whole video. And the most liked one is, why is he looking left to right? Is he hunted by someone? Which the answer to that is probably yes. He's looking for all the investors of the digital freedom platform to see if they want their money back. Now, of course, we know Brian isn't the first person to try to sell his YouTube channel as a way to make money. A few weeks ago, we covered the channel Disrupt, selling a fraction of their channel for an insane valuation, like $10 million. So I wanted to know, how does London Real stack up against that in terms of delusion? Well, I went to their website and found out. They're trying to raise £1 million at a pre-money valuation of $14.5 million. Or, sorry, pounds. We're in London land, which is just insane. I mean, this channel barely pulls in a few thousand views per video, and they want you to believe that they're this multi-million pound organization. But of course, that's why we need to talk about their roadmap for success. See, Brian has a 3-phase process, which will make everything make sense. See, phase 1, he's going to launch a London Real crypto token. Phase 2, he's going to sell his top 10 episodes as NFTs. And part of phase 3 is selling his top 50 episodes as NFTs. Truly groundbreaking stuff. And all of this is supposed to generate revenue that looks like a Bitcoin hopium chart. I mean, the line just goes up. According to their projections, they think London Real will make £25 million by 2027. Just like I will be in the $25 million studio. Now, even if this miracle happens, it's not really clear how much you'll actually benefit from this profit because the investor perks section is a bit vague as to what you'd be entitled to receive. It says you'll get things like a live stream, a share certificate for the amount you invest. But then at the bottom, it says you'll get a chance to share in the future profits. I mean, what do you mean a chance? I don't want a chance. I want the profits, right? If you're investing in this company, I mean, am I buying a scratch-off lottery ticket? And look, maybe some of you feel like I'm splitting hairs here, but this is the exact kind of language that lawyers use to screw people all the time. Like, oh, we didn't say you'd get future profits. We said you'd get a chance for future profits. And so I wanted to look further into this. And so I read their financial pitch, and they say that their plan is to pay dividends based on achieving standard profitability criteria. Now, what exactly that means is not really clear. I couldn't find it out. It sounds like they need to make a certain amount of money before you make any money, which given their projections seems like they won't be hitting it. But either way, I just found this whole thing strange. Like London Real's business is already about selling to London Real fans, but then participating in the business is also selling to London Real fans. Like, this is in the pitch deck, their whole funnel system of, look, we're a profitable business. Look how we get all these upsell customers. But you're kind of upselling people on investing into the business, right? So are you a business partner or are you the business if you invest in this thing? I think the reason London Real has taken such a hit views-wise and credibility-wise is just kind of because people are so tired of being constantly sold things. I mean, I can remember a time years ago where London Real was a channel where you could find interesting people, talking about interesting things. And maybe you still can, but the amount of grifts that had been started since the vid took over in 2020, it's just ruined the channel, honestly. You have London Real courses. You have the Freedom Platform Donation Tribe, the Brian for Mayor Donation Tribe, the Crypto Academy, the Equity Fundraiser Donation Tribe. It's just always an excuse to need more money. Wait, hold on. I just got a new email. The London Real crowdfunding campaign is being extended again. What up? Welcome to the Trillionaire Club, guys. Big deal here. In the Trillionaire Club, not only are you richer than the richest man in the world, but also you can learn about the system that helped this man obtain his Lambo in 90 days. Yes, that's right. Pretty incredible stuff. But before we get into that, we're going to do something that I want to call ethics tips. This is basically a lot of common sense. The golden rule is don't be a piece of shit. Basically, don't lie to people. Ladies and gentlemen, so many of you are out there just doing the most ridiculous things to try to get clicks. You think that clicks are everything and are worth selling out for or compromising your image. And it's not. Let me show you an example of what I mean today. This is what I like to call the TikTok lie. I really don't want to play too much of this, otherwise we're going to get demonetized here. But it says, I'll mute it. Here we go. When our clients make high ticket sales without a webinar or funnel, and you see this lady freaking out, and oh my gosh, look at them. They're so excited because they're getting high ticket sales without a webinar or funnel. Now, somebody sent me this and they pointed out, look, you have the coach on the left-hand side smiling, right? You have the family on the right-hand side whose life has been changed. But here's the deal. It's fake. That's right, guys, because as someone pointed out to me, someone else is doing this too. And both of these people are lying about it. This is the same exact video.
Which was Friday. So Friday, Monday,
I'm making you so much money. Come join my team, right? You'll be shouting like this family right here. You'll be so excited. But here's the deal. This is not about anyone taking a guru's course. This is all stolen from a TikTok. It says posting because I love these videos and this is the happiest I've been in a while for getting into my dream school. This is this lady getting into her dream school, and it's now being used as a reaction for marketers pretending like it's their course that got them to act like this. I mean, watch again, guys. What would you think if you saw this, dude? Oh, yeah. I'm so happy for them. Except this isn't real. It's a lie. It's a lie. Gotcha. Look, anything, dude. These people will do anything for the sale. It's unbelievable. Don't do this, okay? This is bad. Bad. And then what's funny is I saw this guy, who video we just watched, talking about, oh, how do you think I get so many testimonials?
Have you ever had an issue getting testimonials from your clients? If so, I want you to stay tuned in this video because I'm going to show you exactly how I get so many testimonials.
Oh, don't worry, Tanner Chidster. We know how you get so many testimonials, buddy. You troll over to that TikTok page and you just go ahead and throw it a little reaction, right? Here, let's do one right now. Yes. But anyway, guys, that's the ethics tip of the day. Don't take reactions and pretend that they're your customers. How this honestly isn't that hard. But this ethics tip has been brought to you by our old friends over at InfoWars. You guys know I'm a media buyer for Alex. Obviously, he wants to support the show. Alex, thanks for your support of the show. I didn't even know you watched. You have a message for these gurus. You're upset about it. What do you have to say to them?
I'm here to ram heads with you. I'm here to take you down. My destruction is the seeds of your sure destruction, fools.
Thank you, Alex. As always, this message has been brought to you by crippling debt from my expensive $10 million studio. Guys, you may have noticed the production value is sick lately. I seem to be in these incredible places that I almost couldn't be physically. And you wonder, how do you put up such a gigantic studio? Well, guys, you should know, I built a gigantic warehouse and all of these sets are physically built. I'm physically in these areas and that's just what it is. And we have to pay for it somehow, guys. Money is a fuel unit. Don't forget.
You must have enough fuel units to live out your new Lamborghini here in the Hollywood Hills.
But anyway, guys, let's get back to it, okay? You want to know, you're here for the Trillionaire Club. You want to know, how do I get a Lambo in 90 days? Well, our boy, the Ray Cartier, is here to tell you. Now, the first thing to know is he's one of these lifestyle gurus. Now, what do I mean by that? I mean that he doesn't really talk about how to make money. He more just shows off his lifestyle and then is always saying like, oh, hit me up if you want to know more. Like pictures like this, okay? Mind the business that pays you. Okay, what is that, huh? Leverage the system that pays you. Ooh, we're getting original now. But ultimately, all this money has to come from somewhere. After all, he says that he didn't start with a silver spoon in his mouth. No, he was broke before he learned how to make this money. Here we go. From being 10K in debt to 6-figure income. Want to find out how? Send us a DM. Ooh. Nothing like a money counter to really get us interested. But my point is you really don't know what this guy's into until you kind of dig a little bit more in, you know? All these lifestyle guys are like that. You're like, what do you do besides take pictures? Like, how do you make money? It's confusing. You're saying you're so successful, you're getting a Lambo in 90 days. How?
My name is Ray Milano. I'm a 26-year-old Forex trader, and I've helped thousands of people become successful in Forex trading.
Come on, dude.
Today, I check off another dream off my list.
I swear, dude, this is just bait for the 18-year-olds out there who want to get rich quick. They're watching this stuff like, oh my gosh, I don't need to go to college. I don't need to get a job. I'm going to quit my whole career and go join Ray Cartier. Cartier. How do you say it? I don't know. And it's disgusting, but it's also hilarious. Like, you're following this idiot? What is he actually selling you? Right? I still don't know. What is he selling? Education? Okay, what does that mean? How did he learn to trade Forex? Okay, so apparently a lot of this is linked to this thing he does called Skynet Legacy. Now, it says new and improved artificial intelligence trading. So I was like, okay, that's what he does. He's an artificial intelligence trader, which honestly sounds cooler than it actually is. You know, there's a lot of these trading bots that make nothing. But I was interested in what actually this is. So I went to the page. You get some generic thing. So I got the webinar, whatever. I went to the webinar link. Now, this is where I'm doing the due diligence for you guys. So if you actually go and sign up for the webinar, this is what you get to, an unlisted YouTube video where it's selling you not on Skynet Legacy. I thought this guy had created his own artificial intelligence. That's what he makes it sound like in his advertising. Instead, he's pitching something called Avoria Prime. Now, I'm not going to bore you with all of this, but basically he goes, oh yeah, we'll meet the team. You know, it's this amazing team that built this amazing trading bot that you can use to make money. No questions asked. This is what this guy is selling you. He's saying, you can be like me, you can be rich if you join Avoria Prime. They sell an Alexander package and an Eris package. They're two trading bots, I guess. They give you alerts. One is $267 now, $189 a month, and the other is $110 a month. So you're thinking, oh, so it's a product? That's how people are making money? Or they're making money by trading? No, also not. That's not how they make their money. This is actually, and it took me forever to realize this, it's just a multi-level marketing company. It's all a front. It's a front. That's right. At the end of the day, after all this talk about wealth, living the lifestyle, it turns out that this is an MLM, and it's not even the first version of this MLM. It started as Silver Star Live. I don't know if you guys can see that. Silver Star Live right here, which apparently ended in a $75,000 fraud settlement. Then they tried rebooting it as EA Economy. That collapsed. Now they're rebooting it again under this guy. Now, does that guy look familiar to you? He should. Because that's this man right here, Sal Leto. He's one of the guys that marketed the OneCoin Ponzi scheme, and now he's trying to revamp this failed trading bot as Avoria Prime. This is all according to Behind MLM, which I find to be a pretty reputable source when it comes to investigating these types of opportunities. Now, what does this all mean? Well, it means Bezos is safe. I mean, I really thought when I saw the Trillionaire Club up here that Bezos has been cracked. I mean, as you know, he's not a trillionaire yet. He's probably watched this guy like, hey, do I have to take this guy out? Do I have to drone strike him? Is he ahead of me in the game? Well, no. This guy's another poser trying to sell you with jealousy, with envy. He's trying to sell you a product and make himself rich. And he's trying to sell you multi-level marketing, guys. What are we in 2012, dude? I thought this Avon, Amway stuff was long dead. Apparently, it's all moved over to stuff like Forex, stuff like that. Don't bother with this stuff, guys. You should know by now. You should know better. We here in the Coffeezilla Army, we're advancing the game. So if you ever see one of your friends getting into this stuff, hey, stop them. You got to tell them, look, friends don't let friends get in scams. That's it. By the way, also, let me just say as an aside, if you can avoid, I know a lot of people are super into cars, but the more you can avoid getting trapped by these, and they are a trap, kind of like luxury desires, the less you have to work. I mean, all these people, they always talk about like living a laptop lifestyle. You know the best way to live a laptop lifestyle and to not have to work as much? Lower your expectations. If you want a Lambo, hey, guess what? You're going to be working hard. You're working, busting it all the time just so you can have other dudes can look at you like, nice car, bro. But instead, if you can just be content, with the Honda Civic, but that sounds so lame. But you guys know what I mean. If you don't have to have all that stuff, guess what? You don't need to work as hard because you don't have these like crazy expectations for life. That's why I think these things are doubly stupid. Because on the one hand, it promotes like this, like, oh, dude, hey, bro, just have cash and stacks and then live this luxury lifestyle. And you have kids like idolizing this stuff, which is so stupid. But then at the same time, they don't make the money that they're saying you need to make to get the lifestyle. So they're promoting this super expensive lifestyle and also not delivering. Sorry to get all philosophical with you boys. That's basically it. Thanks for watching. And as always,
don't forget to smash like.
There's a new breed of fake guru out there, and they're clever. They're smart. They know that you guys know that the people renting the Lambos and all that kind of stuff, they're scams. So what do? Well, now they appeal to that by calling them out. They go, oh yeah, I'm here to call out the fake gurus, right? You saw this with KT9 early on.
Everyone is sitting in front of Lamborghinis and Ferraris and trying to get you to attend a free Amazon training, so we came to an alley.
Then we saw it with John Crestani.
There are more scams out there on the internet than there are legitimate opportunities by far.
But now we're faced with a new opponent. This is Kevin Zhang. He wants to put the fake gurus out of business.
For all of you gurus and self-proclaimed experts out there, you better watch out, because I'm about to give away more value in this free channel than all of your scammy courses combined. It's time to take that rented Lambo back to the lot.
Wow, look at Kevin really dunk on these gurus. He really doesn't like these fake gurus, huh? He's tired of their Lamborghinis.
In these next 2 days, I want you to really reflect on the goals that you have for your life and just...
Oh, wait, did you just notice that though? He talks about reflect on what you really want, and then he puts a Lamborghini and a mansion.
So I want to answer a question today. Who is Kevin Zhang and what does he teach? On one of his funnels, where he's going to end up trying to sell you a $2,000 course, he says other gurus teach you how to build stores like these. And then it says scam, scam, scam. Don't build brands that scam. I'll show you why the websites above don't build customer trust and loyalty. Build brands that crush. The trust building websites below are what you'll create step by step with me. Okay, so he's tired of the scams. He's tired of the fake gurus. He's sick of it, guys. He's sick of it. He won't have it. That's why you need to go to him instead of the other gurus. Guru Kevin over the fake gurus, right? That's what he's trying to tell you. But what has Kevin Zhang actually done? Well, according to his Instagram, he's gone from $0 to $20 million in 1 year. But what shops did he build? What brands did he build? He wouldn't build a brand that scams. No. He would never do that. Well, we look at his hype video.
So I decided to share my secrets.
There's a little slip up at 59 where he shows us a web page, but we can actually zoom in. Computer, enhance. NewportApparel.myshopify.com. That's one of his pages. Okay, well, who's that? Newport Apparel. Let's look at these people. Well, they're out of business and they have a customer complaint. Oh, this business has a pattern of complaints regarding refund and exchange issues? No, not Kevin. No, don't build brands that scam. But there's some related businesses. Who's this? Dixon Leather. Who's Dixon Leather? Well, look at this. A pattern of complaints regarding customer service issues. And there's several other web pages that are affiliated with this. They're all under the same address. That's why they're affiliated. They're all under 41 Logistics Boulevard, Walton, Kentucky. This one has a Better Business Bureau rating of F. This couldn't be related to Kevin Zhang, but oh my gosh, it is, because it's the same address as Newport Apparel, which Kevin Zhang is advertising in his own hype video. Interesting. But there's another point of connection. On one of Kevin Zhang's Facebook pages, it says he owns Dixon Trading Company, LLC. Now, Dixon Trading Company, LLC, Dixon Leather, are they necessarily connected? No, until we go to Dixon Leather's webpage, which, by the way, is now deleted. All these websites are now closed. But if we go look at a screenshot that someone grabbed, it says this site is owned and operated by Dixon Trading Company, LLC. Isn't that the page that Kevin Zhang owns? Yes, it is. This website is operated by Dixon Leather. So it's owned and operated by Dixon Trading Company, operated by Dixon Leather. Interesting, okay. My gosh, the walls are closing in on old Kevin Zhang here. What's going on? Tell me the truth.
For all of you gurus and self-proclaimed experts out there, you better watch out.
What's going on here? Well, Dixon Leather, if you guys don't know, was selling these leather jackets, right? Or leather belts, leather gloves, and their whole website was all about real leather, not bullshit, right? Because Kevin Zhang, right? This is right up Kevin Zhang's alley, saying that he's not going to give you the fake stuff, he's going to give you the real stuff, right?
For all of you gurus and self-proclaimed experts out there, you better watch out.
And all his advertising says these are leather jackets. But when you go and you look at the complaints, they're not leather. They're polyurethane, which is basically plastic. And it turns out the Better Business Bureau, they contacted him in July 2019 and told him to not call his stuff leather. But they never changed it. And although that website has now gone out of business, there's a new website that looks very similar. It's called longhornleather.shop. It's up right now. And what's the front page say? Leather, not bullshit. Oh yeah, Kevin. Kevin, don't build brands that scam. I'm not going to teach you how to build brands that scam, right? And what is it? Oh, it's the exact same thing as Dixon Leather. So in conclusion, guys, this guy who's saying, oh yeah, I'm putting the fake gurus out of business. I'm not going to teach you how to run scam stores, right? I'm not going to teach you how to run scam stores. This is Mr. Dixon Leather. This is Mr. Newport Apparel. This is Mr. Tactical Grizzly. All of them. Terrible reviews on the Better Business Bureau. They're being investigated. They're shut down. This is who you're buying a course from, dude. These guys are ridiculous, man. Giving people polyurethane jackets under the guise of it being leather. It's absolute garbage. But you know what? If you decide to go and buy Kevin Zhang's course, because of course he is selling a course, $2,000, you can look forward to this.
A warning tonight, a variety of online retailers are using fake Illinois addresses. Consumers say these shops do not deliver merchandise, sends products made from poor quality material, or it even doesn't look like what's advertised. The Better Business Bureau had complaints about several websites.
Computer, enhance.
Unfortunately, the world of e-commerce education is full of scammers, pretenders, and outright liars. I'm sure you've seen their ads all over the place, and I bet...
Ladies and gentlemen, sometimes what ends up being a scam may have started with good intentions, and it's hard to pull apart the threads of where malice meets incompetence. But today, that's what we're going to try to do, and I want to know your opinion. What do you think? Was Space Odyssey the video game, which we're talking about today, to talk about the 5 signs, 5 stages of crowdfunding scams? Do you think this was intended as a scam? Did it become a scam somewhere down the road? It's hard to know. But the interesting thing, now that we're doing GoFundMe Garbage, this series, by the way, welcome back. The interesting thing is that I do find that sometimes I see a project and I think, oh, this might not seem like a scam to the founder, but they're just so incompetent that it is a scam for the people who back it. Like, they will never get the thing. It will have to become something else. They're backing a project that cannot exist, but the hubris of the founder, or maybe the incompetence, causes that. Then there's a whole other category, which is like, no, this person intended from the start for this to be a scam. So I'm telling you guys from the outset, I don't know which of these Space Odyssey started as. It seems to have started as maybe, like, some people thought it was legit because they got Neil deGrasse Tyson on board. But this brings us to the first step, because now we're going back in time. Neil deGrasse Tyson is heavily associated with this project. It raised $300,000. To date, has delivered absolutely zero. But the first step of any great, GoFundMe garbage is the first stage, which is optimism. Ladies and gentlemen, what could be better than a GoFundMe, but with nothing but promises? But it inevitably crashes. But let's get into the hope of this project. Here's Neil backing Space Odyssey, the video game, a physics-based space sim.
We're thinking of releasing a game, a video game. Provisional name for it is Space Odyssey. Is that clever? Space Odyssey?
No.
Yeah. Very original. I was trying to explore, I'm teaming up with video game producers. Can we think about a journey you might take where you control the formation of solar systems, of planets, of comets. You control the formation of life.
I mean, honestly, sounds great, right? Like, that does sound wonderful. Apparently, $300,000, which was the goal, $314,000, is enough to bring together a fully real physics engine that can create galaxies and give you a beta tester and full game download, guys. Complete with a hype trailer, the goal was easily met.
How did we get here? How did it all start? Where's it going?
Where's Hans Zimmer?
These are questions that restless thinkers have tackled over the millennia. Kepler and Galileo, Copernicus, Isaac Newton. Allow me to introduce to you all the next generation of exploration that we call the Space Odyssey.
Wow, I'm hyped.
What if the games you play could teach you the science of the universe?
I can't make any sense.
Wait, stop. Absolutely not. Okay, I'm sorry. This was an unintended rip on this. Stop trying to make video games education and stop trying to make educations video games. Spatial geometry will never be Space Invaders. I'm sorry. I'm so sick of this thing where it's like, hey, guys, this is done by all the pop science guys. They go, hey, we can make science just as fun as video games. No.
Thought of this.
What if education could be as exciting as online gaming?
This is like the next level of gaming.
I hate this.
People to think of space as a place to.
By the way, not because I don't admire the ambition, but because the problem I think is that it teaches kids that, like, you should expect education to be entertaining. And my point is that it's not. So why do we keep loading kids with that expectation? Stop pushing this thing of it's going to be just as great as your, Call of Duty, as Fortnite building or advanced calculus. It's going to be the same.
Explore and to create their own worlds and turn it into a game. Suppose I gave you the power to make solar systems and to make planets.
This is a key thing with stage one. It's a lot of supposes. Suppose this, suppose that. But unfortunately, they're taking real people's money. for the supposes, right?
Part of the fun of Space Odyssey are the missions.
These don't exist.
These are challenges. They'll allow you to learn, but also to really explore.
This is one of the things I also hate about these GoFundMe pitches. You can sell something that doesn't exist. Like, you're like, oh, one of the things about our missions, it's like, wait, do you have a mission system? No? Okay, then what are you doing? Space Odyssey, in a single sentence, the universe simulated for $300,000. Oh, and then tack on Neil deGrasse Tyson's name on it so you ensure that people believe it's like an actual thing. Now, this is what you call, using famous people's names to launder your scam to people. It's a really common thing, and unfortunately, the person it hurts the most is the popular person who gets used this way. So, stage 2, what is that? We have optimism. Stage 2 is delays and frustration. Now, after the initial hype, it's funded, the money is gone. It vanishes into the black box of the founders' wallets. Now is the time where they actually have to execute. And here's where the rubber meets the road, and usually things spin wildly out of control. Initially, there's always a lot of updates, though. As you can see, we're still in 2017. We've seen a lot of updates here, fully funded. Yes, exciting. But over time, you start getting posts like this. We realize we haven't been giving regular updates on the game. Oh, really? And then the updates, which first maybe seem like, oh, it's just the founders hard at work, these breaks just get longer and longer between each update. A hallmark of each of these new posts is apologies for not updating and then doubling down and saying, we're going to constantly update you from now on. But it never happens. And this is where we move quickly into stage 3, hatred. This is when backers first show signs of turning on the project. Comments about refunds start cropping up. Comments about 2 full months, no updates. This is beyond ridiculous at this point. 3 months since last update now, beyond ridiculous. Hope at least I will get refund. Good luck. It's been 4 months after this Kickstarter. I'm going to have to make a rule for myself not to back video games on Kickstarter. People start complaining, blaming themselves, blaming the project, and it starts to get really desperate. People start also driving home the original estimated delivery date of August 2018. And meanwhile, nothing's been done a year later. Now, here the project has 2 options. They do one of 2 things. They either go to stage 4 or they skip directly to stage 5. But stage 4, for most projects, they go to stage 4, which is goalpost shifting. We saw this with the Unibrush, where they went from like a super advanced Swedish, Danish design toothbrush to like the thing from hell. That's what they did here as well. Goalpost shifting is where you basically say, the things we promised, we didn't actually promise those from the get-go, and actually we're going to try to deliver something, but not what we said we were going to deliver. In this case, they start complaining that the initial funds they raised, those were only initial fees. See, it was just a starting point. It was all a goof, guys. Really, when they said they were going to get you a beta test for your money, they didn't mean that. Because actually, once all expenses, agency expenses, marketing, art creation, and production and fulfillment of the books, posters, etc., were sent out and rewards were deducted, there was not a lot remaining on the development. Guys, they didn't have money for development because they spent too much money on other dumb stuff. Apparently, and this is the goalpost shifting part, the intention of the crowdfunding campaign was not to create a game. No, it was actually to introduce the vision of the game to the community and seed early development. Did you expect to get a game for this? No, clearly they didn't mean that. We will need to continue to secure additional funding beyond the campaign. A game of this magnitude, needless to say, requires significant capital to build. So guys, it was a goof when they said $314,000 will build this for you. Really, it was to judge initial interest, and it turns out you guys were pretty interested. This is so beyond shameless. Now, one hilarious thing here is that they say, don't worry, guys. They apparently created a special for their supporters with the NASA store. Now, remember, everyone's excited about Neil deGrasse Tyson, Mr. Spaceman. So they partner with NASAstore.com. We can offer you $30 in credit on the site. Wow, they're going to give you free money? Well, only if you order $75 or more, aka like 30% off. What complete garbage? What is this? That's not giving. I hate when they say, hey, we give you $30 credit if you first spend $200. You go ahead and give me money. You send me $100, I'll send you $20 back. That's the kind of credit I want to give you. How stupid is that? Anyway, you get very cool NASA and space stuff. So I went to this website, wanting to look into this because I was like, really, it's called NASA Space Store, and the domain is dead. So, you know me, I got to look into it. Well, it turns out when you do some Wayback Machines of this store, it seems to be like some knockoff NASA merchandise. And apparently they were like using the logo or something, possibly without permission, because it changed from NASA Store to now it's called Mission Control Store. See, Mission Control Store was formerly called NASAstore.com. So let's get this straight. Neil deGrasse Tyson partnered with a video game company which promised immersive, realistic physics engines for $300,000. They didn't do that. So they said, hey, go spend a lot of money on a fake NASA store. Why? How is this like, hey, I got you a great deal? A bomber jacket for $97. At this point, it looks like another cash grab from these people. We don't know if they're a partner with them or what. But of course, this brings us into stage 5 of the crowdfunding life cycle of a scam. Stage 5 is abandon, minimize, and move on. This is where the crowdfunding project basically gives their last, or what will probably be their last update. So here we're seeing that their last post, which was April 11th, 2020, so they've totally abandoned this project, but they go like, we understand the frustration, we share it, blah, 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 blah. Like a complex video game with real physics is costly. And though we have not secured all of the funding to complete the game, we are coordinating with a number of strong prospective financial and strategic partners. That's probably a complete lie. There's absolutely no evidence of that. And it's probably just more minimization to keep people strung along while they basically run away with the money. But that's basically it, guys. Those are the 5 stages. And if you want to run your own scam, that's how you do it. Courtesy a la Coffeezilla. That's the way to go. I hope you've enjoyed this episode, this trip down memory lane to Neil deGrasse Tyson's failed Kickstarter, but also an inside look at how these Kickstarters fall apart so quickly. Thanks for watching. Hope you had a good one, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.
I know what you mean. This ain't what it seemed. Nothing but a trick, trying to sell me on a dream, but that was where you lost me. Wake up and smell the coffee.
Boys, today is a very special day. Today we're dusting off some videos that quite frankly should have been erased and forgotten, but today are being dredged back up from the depths. Why? Because, quite frankly, I think some people need to see them. Yes, they suck. Yes, we will cringe. But I think it's important. Let me explain why. Listen, when I grew up, I always wanted to be able to sing. Yes. I'm not going to do it. Don't worry.
Thank you for sparing me.
But everyone in my family told me, look, don't bother. You're not good. You're not talented. And to be fair, it was true. So I never practiced until in college, I saw a video of this small-time artist, may have never heard of him, Ed Sheeran. Okay? And he showed the first time he had sang before, and the results shocked me.
Oh, dear God, no!
Yeah, that's right. And I know, most people laugh at this, but for me, it was a revelation, okay? The understanding that people don't just walk out of the womb doing the Michael Jackson hip thrust and singing like an angel, it actually really encouraged me. And ever since then, I've been sort of shameless about singing everywhere and practicing because I just realized that sucking and being bad is part of the process. They were all beginners at some point, and that's the real way to think about it. You aren't bad at something. You are a beginner. You are inexperienced. It is a growth versus fixed mindset. And so today I want to help contribute to that understanding because today we're going to be looking at arguably my only skill in life, which is making videos. And I'm going to show you where I started. Now, I'm not Ed Sheeran, and I know this isn't a late show, not doing Make-A-Wish yet, thankfully, but hopefully we can give you guys the same lesson, okay? You don't need to be Steven Spielberg to understand that we've gotten better. So I hope this is an uplifting message for you guys. Let me set the stage for you where we're at and where it all began. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the $10 million studio. I'm your host, Coffeezilla, and I haven't always been in the $10 million studio. Guys, when all this started, the dream, it all started in a small bedroom in College Station, Texas, guys. Going to school for chemical engineering. I hated it, okay? My big dream was not to do what I did in school, okay? And so in my head, guys, at the time, I was thinking, I'm going to go be a YouTuber, right? I'm going to go do what Fred, the YouTube star, did. So I, in college, started making YouTube videos. And here's the first one that I ever did. Let's watch and get ready to cringe. I know I will. Now, guys, I just want to note here that I did get a glass of wine for this because this is going to be tough. Already, I'm offended by the camera angle, okay? Yes, that is what we'd call a very artistic choice, if we're being very charitable. There's me. I thought I was going to be a piano star. That's right. I'm a mediocre pianist on the best day, but I was sure that I was going to be entertaining the masses with my mad skills. So let's watch a little bit. Now, don't get excited. Not too many camera angles here. Can we get some volume here? That's it. You know, it's not bad. I mean, listen, my point is not that it's bad. Honestly, we can play it as background music because I give you commentary for what I think for this. You can see me trying, okay? YouTube's a video platform, though. It's a personality platform. What am I doing? My face isn't on screen. My bird-like wrists, very skinny wrists, they're right there. I don't know what's going on. I feel like I'm getting vertigo watching the video. So we're just going to go ahead and move past this. Now, this was back in 2014, guys. It's taken me 7 years, okay, to go from this to this. Wait, I don't know if that's that impressive, actually. Maybe we should scrap this idea, guys. Not that impressive. No, I'm just kidding. Let's just move on. Now, let's fast forward a bit because I don't want to bore you guys. It's a lot of me just not understanding how stuff works. So this is me 3 years later, okay? Almost exactly 3 years later. Still trying the piano thing. Bold move, okay? Still looking like a young stud, okay? No beard yet. The gurus haven't ground me down into a pulp. Let's watch a little bit of this. So you can see my camera framing has improved. Piano playing's still okay, you know. We're all right. We're not Oscar Peterson, but that's okay. I'm still not, by the way. Okay, so I'm doing some weird head gyrating. That's how you know that I'm in the mood, okay? The point is, what are we doing here? Okay, this isn't Spotify. This is YouTube. Who's this guy? Why should we care? I have no on-camera anything yet. Haven't figured it out, okay? At some point, I realize I'm not the greatest piano player in the world. So what do I really have to offer? It can't just be piano and that smoldering smirk, okay? There's got to be something else. So I make a shift. Now, this was big for me, okay? I'm going to walk you guys through, and I hope as you're watching, you are collectively going, oh my gosh, it took him 3 years to realize that he wasn't going to wow people with solo piano on YouTube when there's literally the greatest piano players in the world on YouTube. It took you 3 years to figure that out? Yes, it did. Okay, I hope that gives you some context. So now, okay, this is the video. Guys, this is me finally figuring it out. I think I just graduated college, actually, right here. I'm realizing the time is now. Okay, let's watch. Gosh, I look so young.
So there are a lot of big changes coming to this channel, and so let's get on with it. So firstly, I just graduated college, which is super cool because it frees me up a lot to do more things with the channel, and it's also super weird because my life is so...
Why is my voice so
high-pitched?
I'm not here to roast my... I'm sorry. Go ahead, Stephen from the past. Keep going.
Sort of been planned out to this point. Now there's just open... Anyways, so my goal going forward with this channel is to see if I can make it financially viable to do YouTube full time, and that seems a little far off, you know, with there just being 188 of us.
188. Guys, it's been 3 years. You would have thought I would have hung up my hat at this point. 188 subscribers took me 3 years to do, okay? Just context, okay? This was the start, basically, of the coffee break era. Now, some of you know this. This was when I realized that video essays, I might be good at that. Try it out. Try a little bit more of my writing, personality, what I was thinking about. Okay, this was a really good era for me. This is also when I started editing a lot more. I'll just kind of mute this as we go through. This was a video essay about Casey Neistat, how he took off on YouTube. Not a bad video. I rewatched it. I go, it kind of, editing's a little shoddy, but it stands up. It's fine. It's fine, right? One of the big secrets to video essays is you can quickly achieve high production value because a lot of the assets are just used from other people because you're just kind of using like some copyright law, fair use to transform content, right? So that was very helpful, and we entered a new age of YouTube. So we go ahead and switch to this like hybrid thing that I did for a while, set up this little set, and did this for a while. This was when I basically investigated scientific fraud at this institution in Florida State. That was very interesting. Now we're getting much more to the modern era. You can see I've figured out a lot of things at this point. I got a little custom graphic there. That's very nice. I've got a little presence. I've even got some nice music here. Let's play a little bit of this.
Number 27. A professor in criminology sent me an email about the single biggest scandal that the criminology field had ever seen. I looked into it, partly out of curiosity, partly courtesy, but what I found obsessed me for months. Alleged fraud, anonymous whistleblowers, university cover-ups. This investigation changed the way I think about science. Not in the way we discover truth, but how we uncover lies. But before we get into that, let's back up. Our story begins with an anonymous email sent to several scientists who were co-authors on 5 papers within criminology, and someone decided to start asking questions.
So much more the current style of Coffee Break, you can tell, or really Coffeezilla too, like these like investigations type things. You can see me kind of a little more catching my wind here. You can see some more development in the editing. Now we're introducing me on camera again. No longer are we just like faceless behind somebody else's video. We're starting to use our own assets. Around this time, I wanted to take it further. And, well, you know what? I don't actually think that's so important. At this point, sort of was finding my way. I don't think that I really care to like talk to people who are at this point. I feel like you can find your way. I want to talk to people who are here. I think this is actually the hard part, this gap between this and when you actually have people watching you. Like between this and the, I think I did like 80 videos before 100 subscribers or 100 videos before 100 subscribers. Like it's just long, just a lot of work for no results for a very long time. And I want to tell you guys that that's okay. Much like me singing and I suck, it's just years of sucking basically. That's the way it is. Unfortunately, unless you're some savant, unless you're some genius, that's how it is. If you go back to Mr. Beast's first videos, it's the same thing, dude. I even went back and checked. I was like, what are his first videos like? They suck. They're terrible. I mean, he would tell you the same thing. It just takes you time to find your rhythm, to find what you want to be doing, to find your style. Like now, when people see my channel, they see this whole like monstrosity that we built, but they don't understand all the things that we had to do to get to it. So it might be discouraging for someone who starts out and they're making terrible videos and they look at us and they go, wow, like he's already got it figured out, whatever. No, dude, it took years to even realize I was on the wrong track, okay? Not even to get on the right track even. So at this point, it's been 7 years I've been on YouTube. I plan to do it for many more. I love YouTube. I love creating videos. And I feel like I've really kind of found my voice, found my style. But this message is for those people out there who have not. I know we talk about scams. It's nothing about scams. This is literally about paying the favor forward for some of you guys out there who may think to yourself, oh, I can't do that. I'm not talented. I'm not good at it, guys. I'm not this. I'm not that. Like, I don't know how to say more clearly that if you feel like you don't know what you're doing, if you feel like you're bad at something, if you feel like you're a beginner, that's perfectly normal. That's exactly where you're supposed to be. And if you really want to do something, if you just stick with it, if you just push through, it will eventually pay off for you. So I wanted to send this positive message out there. We don't talk about this a lot. We talk about a lot of scams, but guys, there are some underlying messages that I also want to push about, things like this, creating stuff, doing videos online. So I hope this message was positive for you guys. I hope you enjoyed realizing that.
Hey guys, wanted to make a short video to speak up for a friend of mine who's been silenced and doxxed and blackmailed and threatened by two YouTubers who are much bigger than him, and I feel like he doesn't have the platform to defend himself, both in terms of his audience reach and in terms of the fact that anytime he posts a video, it's immediately copyright striked. And so I want to speak up on his behalf, and I'm going to try to keep this short so I don't bore anybody. A longer video detailing the full story will eventually be made, but I don't have time to do that right now. And given that this is a fast evolving situation, I thought it was important to get this video out. Two large YouTubers, one with 400,000 subscribers and one with 700,000 subscribers, each played a role in doxing, blackmailing, and threatening a much smaller YouTuber named Trend Black. A few days ago, one of them released his full name on a webpage that was designed to try to make sure that he never got a job. That was preceded by several days, even months of threats. I was part of some of those exchanges as an intermediary, and I tried to prevent this dox from happening and tried to explain that this is not the action that should be taken. But let's be clear about how we got here. We got here because TechLead, a YouTuber, did not like one of Trend Black's criticism videos, and he copyright striked that video and eventually two videos of Trend Black's channel. Eventually, he would release those claims, but not before Trend Black was forced to give up his full name. This information was then passed off to another disgruntled YouTuber named Matt Tran, who Trend Black had also made a critical video about. Matt Tran was very angry, and in December, they both told him that unless he removed his videos, they would be doxing him. I asked Matt Tran if he thought that this was blackmail. He initially said it wasn't, but ultimately agreed with me that that's exactly what it was.
It's going to come, and yet he made a choice, and his choice was to keep the video up.
Well,
and my choice was to make that article.
Do you not think it was blackmail?
I don't see it as blackmail at all.
I'm looking at the definition right now. I want to be clear here. It says blackmail is the act of coercion using the threat of revealing or publicizing either substantially true or false information about a person or people unless certain demands are met. I mean, it's textbook, like it is blackmail. I want to be clear. Now, whether you think it was justified blackmail is another thing, but it is blackmail.
I mean, it sounds like textbook blackmail to me, yeah.
Eventually, it was decided that they would not dox him, but a few months later, Matt Tran independently changed his mind and decided to dox Trend. And let's be clear, where did this name come from? It came from YouTube's garbage copyright system, which allows anyone to get private information about you with literally no evidence that what you posted is theirs. You can go and submit an abusive takedown request of any video on this platform, and you will receive that creator's full name, address, and phone number. What insane world do we live in where that's acceptable? It's not acceptable. And that's exactly what happened. And that's how TechLead got his information. And ultimately, that's how Matt Tran got his information to eventually dox him. I asked Matt Tran if this is indeed where he got the information from.
Let me ask you, did TechLead get, or did you get the name from TechLead?
Yeah.
Yeah.
To add insult to injury, now Trend Black is put in a position where his full name has been doxxed due to YouTube's absurd copyright system, due to TechLead's absurd abuse of the system. But now after posting a video about it, that video was then falsely taken down by TechLead. The video that Trend Black posted had zero footage of TechLead in it. And guess what? TechLead claimed that video, so no one can see it. He's damage controlling to prevent the information that Trend Black was doxxed, using the same system that he used to initially find the information that ultimately resulted in the doxing of Trend Black. This is absolutely unacceptable, and I wanted to speak up to tell people that enough is enough.
Now, the last thing I want to say here is addressed to all of you watching who are not Team YouTube. Please do not go harass anybody involved. This situation is hard enough as it is without people going and doing stupid stuff they shouldn't. The point of this video is to highlight a broken copyright system that allows way too much information to be shown. Yes, it was a terrible, horrible thing that Trend got doxxed, but let's not go eye for an eye. Instead, this is a job for YouTube to solve. It was their system that was used to dox Trent Black, and they should ultimately be the ones to decide what kind of penalty, punishment, or anything like that is ultimately done. And honestly, the whole system needs to be reformed because it is way too easy to get way too much private information about someone that can be used to dox them or worse. I'm begging you guys, please do not make things worse by turning this into a harassment fest. That is not the point of this video. It's to shed light on a very serious problem. That's all for now. I don't want to make this video longer than it has to be. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.